Hey guys, it's Neil again from Heart Attacks is On Me. And today I want to do another discussion video talking about two new Vostok watches that caught my attention. So I was recently browsing the Marinome.com website, and you can see I'm here right now, Marinome.com, and there was two watches that really caught my attention. I always just check periodically to the Marinome.com website because they always update it regularly with new watches. So the first watch I want to talk about that caught my attention is going to be this one here. You can see there's two different variants, and this is going to be what they call their compressor model. And there's your designation number there, so 800. And this is a pretty cool watch, and we'll look at that here in just a second in more detail. And then let me scroll down a little bit and show you the second watch that caught my attention. And it's going to be these right here. There's actually four different models. So this is a 020. They're calling it a Komandirskie, but we'll look at that in a little more detail too. But this is a 020 that's not a special edition watch. So this is not an SE model. And I recently acquired a 020 SE that I absolutely love. It's an excellent watch. So this really appealed to me because the price here, the SE models are typically going to be, $130, $140, $150, where these are priced at $78. So, and there's four different variants of this one. So we'll look at that one here in just a second. So first, let's take a look at this compressor watch because it's pretty interesting. So let me switch over to this next tab here. There we go. And we'll look at this watch in a little more detail. So it has a couple of cool features that I think it's definitely unique in the Vostok lineup. So again, this is a compressor style watch. You can probably notice that immediately looking at it with the dual crowns here set up just like the compressor watches, the vintage ones or the super compressor case styles. So it's pretty cool stuff here. Now here's the price. It's a little high at $267, but you'll see here in a second that there's a reason why this is a little bit pricier. So looking at it, it's got a very cool design, and we'll look at the other variant here. You can see there's two different models. So the second one here has the 12, 3, 6, and 9. The first one we looked at just has the 12 within the hour markers here. And then look at the differences in the internal bezel there. You can see this one is in 5-minute increments there. This one is as well, but just looks a little differently and has some orange highlights here. But let's look at the specs here. So we already looked at the price at $267, which again, that's fairly high for a Vostok, so it's a little surprising. But let's look at the case size here. So this is listed at 42.7 millimeters, so rather large. I think it'd be a little bit big for me, but I could still pull it off probably, but it is rather large in my opinion at 42.7 millimeters, almost 43 millimeters. Your case thickness here is 13.7, so actually a little thinner than most Vostok amphibias. Lug to lug is 49 millimeters, so that's a little big too in my opinion, but it's still below 50, so I still could pull it off. Now here's something that's interesting. Look at the lume. You've got super luminova here for the first time that I'm aware of on a Vostok watch, so I feel this is a step in the right direction. So hopefully we'll start seeing quite a few more watches with super luminova in them for their lume. The standard lume that Vostok uses, it's decent, but it's certainly way behind. When you compare it against the super luminova or some other higher end looms out there. Case material stainless steel, case back stainless steel. Dial, they say, is a matte finish. We've got screw down crown stainless, and we'll look at those in a little more detail here. And here's another cool thing. Look at the crystal here. They have a mineral K1, so that's just a hardened mineral crystal, which is pretty unique. Most of your Vostoks are going to have the acrylic, the domed acrylic crystal. Water resistant rating, you have up to 200 meters, so basically it is a dive capable watch, which is really cool. Comes with a nylon style strap. We'll look at that here in a minute. Let's see if there's anything else. We've got the standard 24/16 Vostok movement. It is automatic. It is manually. You can manually wind it if you wanted. 31 joules, all that's pretty standard. So let's go look up these pictures in a little more detail so we can talk about this. So again, this is a compressor style watch, so you do have the dual crowns. The bottom one here are going to be for adjusting your time and date. The top one here is going to rotate a inner bezel. Now you should be seeing a video pop up right now of that in action. So it is kind of an interesting rotating bezel here. So of course it is internal, which is typical of most of your compressor style watches, but you can see it has a very mechanical click to it. So pretty unique, pretty interesting bezel there. And that rotating bezel there is also a screw down crown as well. So it is completely waterproof. Now I don't know what would happen if you pop that out and actually rotated it underwater. I'm assuming it would still be waterproof, but I don't know that for sure. But pretty interesting. Let's switch over to the next picture now. And here's that Super Luminova. That's pretty impressive. Now, of course, this is just a picture, Marinome's using, but I would be interested to see what the Lume is like in real life. But it's got to be pretty good if they're using Super Luminova. So that's pretty cool. Here's your look at your custom case back. You'll notice it is a different design, a new design, and it actually has a different looking locking ring. It looks like a unique kind of case back. I don't know if it's because of the size of the case or not, but it looks a little more robust than your standard Amphibia. But pretty cool design there with the scuba dude right there in the center and the Cyrillic text here. We'll continue cycling through. Here's a side profile showing you a slightly domed hardened mineral crystal there, which is pretty cool, very vintage looking, and you've got a smooth stainless steel bezel, which looks really nice. It's a nice looking watch. My only concern, and here's just an accessory you can get with it. You could get a mesh strap if you wanted. My only concern is that size. So I wish it was a 41 millimeter case size, but this is right at 42.7 or right at 43 basically. So it is a little big. That's my only concern, but it is a nice looking watch. And I like seeing Vostok kind of come out with new products. They're venturing into different design characteristics. It's cool to see them innovate. A couple of things of note here. You'll notice that the hands are actually the larger hands, so you've got more lume applied, similar to what you'd see on an SE watch from Vostok. And it also has the longer seconds hand as well. So it's not the little short one. So that's cool. And again, we'll switch over real quick to the other model, and we'll just click on that just to bring it up so you can look at that. Here's the secondary model. Just a slightly different dial and bezel design, but overall the exact same as the other one. Pretty cool. So that's your compressor watch from Marinome, and now let's take a look at this 020 Komandirskie. So let's take a look at my personal favorite, which is this green one. I like these two. Let's just open those two in a tab. Alright, but again, there are 4 different versions. That one, white dial with the 12, 3, 6, and 9, green dial or some type of greenish dial, and then this green one with the 12-hour hour markers, and then the white dial with just the 12 at top. So let's take a look at this in a little more detail. So this is a 020 case style, which is a really nice case style. It's one of my personal favorites. It's got a really good size of 41 millimeter case diameter. But this is a nice looking watch. So they're calling this a Komandirskie, but when we look at the specs, this could easily be basically an Amphibia. It is a 200 meter dive watch, even though they're calling it a Komandirskie. So here's a look at it real quick, and actually let's look at those specs real quick. We'll scroll down. So again, 41 millimeter case diameter, 15 millimeter thickness. So that's standard with most of your Amphibias. 48 lug to lug. You got the stainless steel bezel and case, of course. You do have the acrylic crystal water resistance rating of 200 meters. So that's different from most Komandirskies. So I don't know why they're calling this a Komandirskie. To me, this is an Amphibia. 24/16 movement, which is of course automatic and manual winding capable. But let's look at the watch again in more detail. So this is a cool looking watch. I mean, the 020, I love my special edition version of that, and this is really cool that you can get one now for considerably cheaper, right at $78. But you'll notice it has the smaller handset here than the SE that I have. It's just you don't get the upgraded handset, but I do like this dial with that star. I think that's very classy with the red seconds hand. It's a very nice looking dial. So let's scroll through a couple more pictures here. Here's a close-up of that dial. Very nice gradient bezel. It looks really good. Here's the side profile. So look at the crown here. That's kind of unique. It does have the upgraded crown, which is cool. So that's the stainless steel crown there that you can order as an add-on from Marinome.com. But this watch comes with it right out of the box. And it also comes on a bracelet here that's signed Vostok. Y'all can see that. And there's a look at the very cool case back design. So that's kind of unique. I like that a lot. Looks really cool. And is there any other pictures? There's just the dimensions. So very, very cool watch as well, guys. Anybody that's interested in a 020 definitely should consider one of these. And then we'll quickly switch over to this one. Again, the exact same specs, but this one has the white dial, which I'm partial to white dials, so I like this one. Looks really nice. I really like that red star that they put on there. That is pretty cool, guys. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys, but you know, Marinome always has, it's worth checking the Marinome.com website often because they're constantly adding new watches. So you never know when one's going to show up, so you might as well just check every once in a while. You can also subscribe to their Instagram page. They do post stuff on there as well. Of course, most of that's going to be in actual Russian, but you can still see pictures and stuff, and then come look at the English version of the Marinome.com website. But this has been Neil at Heart of Texas Armory. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. And guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all guys take care.